So, excuse me. Good morning. It's Monday morning. Um, Usually I record these things in the morning each day. What I'm going to try to do now is record a bunch of them on Sunday and set them up to post during the week because I'm going to be in Mexico for my son's wedding and I don't know how the Wi Fi will be or if I'll be able to post anything. So I'm going to try to set them up to post in advance. And there may be some written instructions tomorrow for you for the rest of the week as to how to access them or where to access them. But we'll set all that aside and we're going for Romans 6, verses 5 through, let's say 7, huh? For if we have been united with him in a death like his, we will certainly be united with him in a resurrection like his. We know that our old self was crucified with him so that the body of sin might be destroyed and we might no longer be enslaved to sin. For whoever has died is freed from sin. Okay. There's some grammatical things going on in the Greek there that are a little difficult to say in English without some extra words. Something like, if we have been united with him in a death like his, which we have been, that was established already, we will certainly be united with him in a resurrection like his. There's no question of it. That's the way the Greek tenses work in this case. So, we know we've been united in his death through our baptism, and that means that we will be with him in the resurrection, period. There's no difference. The only distinction is that he already is resurrected, and our resurrection comes later, and there's this gap in between called life, where we live and we learn and we wait. But we will be resurrected with him. We know that our old self, who we are, was crucified with him so that the body of sin might be destroyed and we might no longer be enslaved to sin. And there's a key word. We still sin. We still commit sins. We still do things we shouldn't. But we're not slaves to it anymore, Paul says. Whoever has died is free from sin. If you die, you can't sin anymore. And so we have died in Christ. And so guess what, folks? We're not still the same kind of sinners we were before. Now, he's also talking about baptism here. And just to go back into that for a minute, there's a lot of, I mentioned that there's a lot of talk about how you have to be old enough to understand, and I don't know how old that is yet. But there's also a sense in which baptizing infants was a strategy used by the church after Constantine, after he made the church legal, so that we'll just baptize all the children. They'll all be raised Christian. The whole country will be Christian. We'll all be Christian. And as Kierkegaard said, if everybody's a Christian, then no one's a Christian. Think about that. So modern theologians like Karl Barth, who actually is not all that modern anymore, Karl Barth and Moltmann after him have said that what the church needs to stop doing is baptizing every child that comes along and wait until and baptize people who confess that they believe. Now that might be a strategy for the church to think about in this postmodern, post-COVID era that we're entering, where everything is going to be different, and we might not assume that everybody that comes along is a Christian or knows the faith and knows things that we all think everybody should know because they don't know these things. So, but for those of us who are baptized, we're free from sin. We're not free from doing sins, but we're free from sin as a kind of a state of being, right? We've been moved over from sinners from in Adam to in Christ. We've been moved into a new category, we might say. So think about that today. Think about what it means for you that we've been united with Jesus in his death, and so we no longer are sinners, and in fact, we're those waiting to be resurrected with him into new life.